Right. Welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining our sanctuary community and celebration this morning. Sanctuary Church is a 508c1a faith-based organization. Our faith in sacred mushrooms stems from prehistoric use by our ancestors and personal experiences of our modern members. Psilocybin mushrooms are one of the greatest sacraments that nature offers, raising our awareness so that we can access a direct connection to the source of life. It is our sincere belief that the consumption of psilocybin-containing mushrooms is a communion, which brings us closer to what is commonly called God. We understand this concept as pure consciousness, which permeates all being. This pure consciousness is, we believe, the ineffable source of creation and the origin of health and well-being. Our mission and vision at Psanctuary is to live in a world with supportive and joyful communities, empowered to discover our own divinity with sacred mushrooms and each other. We are bringing people together for healing and connection to divine revelation through communion with sacred mushrooms. We ask you to mute your mics if you're not muted already. The 30-minute service portion of our gathering here today is being recorded and will be posted on YouTube for community viewing. We'll begin with a short guided meditation, followed by 2 readings to facilitate our journal prompt and the discussion following service. Prior to the 90-minute discussion, we'll invite one of our community leaders, which will be me today, to share some sanctuary announcements, updates, and FAQs. We invite you now to find a comfortable space where you can settle in and be as present as possible as we begin our service today. I now invite Kevin to lead us in a short meditation.
Morning. Just do a short little breath work. The whole purpose of breath work is when we exhale, it's an exaggerated exhale, like let that exhale, just let everything go in the exhale. The depth is up to you. Just keep up with the pace. It's going to be slow and just smooth. All right. We're going to start through the nose. Deep breath in. Let go. Deep breath in. Let go. Deep breath in. Go. Deep breath in. Deep breath in. Let go. Breath in. Deep breath in. Go. Deep breath in. Let go. In. Go. Deep breath in. In. Go. Deep breath in. Let go. In. Go. Deep breath in. In. Go. Deep breath in. In. Go. Deep breath in. Deep breath in. Breath in. Deep breath in. Deep breath in. Deep breath in. Hold it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let go. Hold it right there and just close your eyes. Sit with it for a minute. Feel that feeling, that good feeling, that scary feeling. It's just a feeling. Sit in it in the moment and you're fine. It always passes. It always falls. Just like life, just like stress, just like problems. They always fall away if we let them. Sit with it for about a minute and really understand that you're okay in this moment, and you always are. The breath is only a breath away to get to this state, to get this little feeling you have right now. It might be temporary, but it will go a long way in your day. Take one more deep breath in. And just let it go. Have a good day.
Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you, Kevin. Before we move into our readings, and while we're still in this mindful, centered space, I invite us all to place our hands on our heart as we take a few moments to send loving intention to our sacrament and to all who cultivate or consume these sacred mushrooms. Without these gifts of our Creator and the communion of our members, this community would not exist. The healing brought on by our sacrament is not limited to the times when we consume the mushroom, but extends into all aspects of our lives and spreads like the mycelium around our world. It is through intention and attention that we call forth the healing power of the mushroom and the community that we have formed around it. Let us use our ever-expanding awareness to bring greater peace and healing to our world. Let us radiate gratitude from our hearts to our Creator, to our community, and to those who cultivate our sacrament. For these gifts impart healing to those who commune with love and sincerity. In cultivating and consuming this sacrament, we become aware of the oneness of life, the knowing that we live in all things and that all things live in us. Let us apply this understanding to all of our relationships and aid us in our journey as members of the human family. Thank you, everyone. Our rotating text today was selected by our founding minister, Eric Osborne, and comes from the book, Awakening the Luminous Mind. I now invite our volunteer, Emil, to read this passage aloud.
Good morning, everybody. Awakening the Luminous Mind by Tenzin Rinpoche, the source of all positive qualities. How do positive qualities arise, such as love and joy, or positive actions such as caring for others, or being creative and productive? Being productive is important in life. It is hard to imagine being paid a nice salary for being still, silent, and spacious for 8 hours a day. Yet this space of being is infinitely rich. It is the source of positive qualities, and the actions that express these qualities are beneficial. You will feel the infinite potential of the source within you as you begin to recognize and trust openness. But attention must be directed in the right way. You don't want to get lost in open space. You want to be aware of it. In the same way, you do not want to get lost in pain, but be aware of it. Your awareness of openness reveals the great source of all antidotes and positive qualities. It is not so much that we should cultivate positive qualities. Rather, the advice is to go directly to the source, openness itself, and discover the qualities are already there. If you do that, then you don't have to work hard to feel love. Love is abundant in the open space of your being. Happiness is not a product of working harder. We get exhausted and depleted when we work so hard. When we connect with the space of refuge, we can feel that we are recharging ourselves. We are ready to give more, to share more. That space of refuge is what we are referring to as the source of all the beneficial qualities we need.
Thank you, Emil. Please take out your journals and pens for 5 minutes of reflection, utilizing the following prompts. take a moment and reflect on times when you have been happy without condition. Was this spontaneous, or was this a cultivated experience? How can you touch on this place of being more regularly? We'll have the opportunity to further explore what we journaled during our discussion following service. So I will go ahead and set my Zoom timer now for 5 minutes of journaling, and I'll give you a 1-minute heads up. About 1 minute left, everyone. Okay, please wrap up your thoughts here as we move on with service. The paradoxical nature of life and its mysteries are best experienced through the ineffable space we find in our communion with the mushroom. For more than 2,000 years, the Tao Te Ching has provided guidance and instruction for exploring the paradox of existence. It is for this reason that we employ the Tao Te Ching as our primary sacred text and invite all to study it further as you delve deeper into the mystery of life. I invite our volunteer Carla to read today's Tao Te Ching chapter aloud.
Thank you, Courtney. Good morning, everyone. Tao Te Ching, translation by John C. H. Wu, chapter 65. In the old days, those who were well versed in the practice of the Tao did not try to enlighten the people, but rather to keep them in the state of simplicity. For why are the people hard to govern? Because they are too clever. Therefore, he who governs his state with cleverness is its malefactor, but he who governs his state without resorting to cleverness is its benefactor. To know these principles is to possess a rule and a measure. To keep the rule and the measure constantly in your mind is what we call mystical virtue. Deep and far-reaching is mystical virtue. It leads all things to return till they come back to the great harmony. Thank you.
Thank you, Carla. I invite James to share announcements for this week.
Hi, everybody. So our virtual circles and workshops are open to non-members for a suggested $5 donation and remain open at no cost for official members. Virtual offerings this week include Monday at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 12:30 Pacific, Directors Open Office Hours. Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 3:30 Pacific, Internal Family Systems. Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 4 p.m. Pacific, Sacred Passage Support Circle. Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 4:30 p.m. Pacific, Psilocybin and Sobriety Circle. Saturday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time, 7:30 a.m. Pacific, Psanctuary Book Club. Please register and find Zoom links on our events calendar on psanctuary.org. We are excited to be releasing our 2024 Group Sacrament Ceremony and Festival calendar in the next week or two. Please stay tuned via our private member Discord server and your email for the announcement and more details. This Wednesday, Eric will be leading our Sacred Community Circle from 6 to 8 p.m. at Clifton Universalist Unitarian Church on Payne Street off Frankfurt Avenue. This event is offered at no suggested cost for official Sanctuary members and is a suggested $10 for non-members. See our community events calendar on sanctuary.org to register.
All right. Thanks, James. If you are not yet a member and are interested in joining our community of over, almost 450 members now, you may begin the membership process by visiting sanctuary.org. Like the mycelial network we seek to emulate, Sanctuary relies on the support and resources of our community while giving back health and wholeness to the same. We seek to create a nationwide and eventually global community that contributes to the healing of humanity. Your support is incredibly valuable as we grow and even after we continue to be established. Becoming a member gives you access to our private member server through Discord, our minister ordination programs, our network of sacrament cultivators, sacrament services, facilitated by our friends and family and community ministers, and so many more membership offerings. I now invite Stephen to announce our new members this week.
Thank you, Courtney. Good morning, everyone. We have 12 new members to announce this week, representing 8 states. We have Diego from Nebraska, Kevin from Kentucky, John from Maine, Greg from Kentucky, Silen from Washington, Tracy from Colorado, W. Terrell from Kentucky, Lewis from New Hampshire, Robert from Maine, Jonah from Maine, Betsy from Florida, and Carrie from Indiana. So welcome, everyone.
Wow. Welcome, welcome. Thank you, Stephen. Okay, so for this week's weekly FAQs and updates, I'm going to be sharing a little bit more about our women's subtle sacrament program. We have the next cohort, our spring cohort, which begins March 18th and goes through Monday, May 6th. So I'll be facilitating this women's subtle sacrament program. The last one that we did in fall was so amazing. It was the first cohort that we held last fall. We had over 20 women join us in the first women's subtle sacrament ordination program. So you actually become ordained as a subtle sacrament minister with Psanctuary Church. We have a whole 101 course that's provided, which talks all about Sanctuary's approach to subtle sacrament practice. So subtle sacrament dose is a sacred mushroom communion, anywhere from really 0 grams all the way up to 0.99 grams, or we can just call it 1 gram. It's a really nice way for those who, particularly if you don't have a practice yet with the mushroom and you would like some experience and just feeling that practice out. A subtle sacrament practice can be a nice way to get started. This, I want to clarify, this is not microdosing. We get that question a lot. This is more of an intuitive relationship building practice with the mushroom. Throughout the 8-week subtle sacrament course, we do provide some frameworks for you to work with if you're just really unfamiliar with working with the mushroom at all. We help provide different frameworks to help you understand how often you might consider having a communion week to week, how much that communion might be, up to 1 gram. And we have weekly group calls. So every week I'll be hosting, during this 8-week program, a live group call with all the women attending. So we'll start out with a meditation, lead into journaling, and then we'll join together in an authentic relating activity. For any of you who have been to my women's circles or have attended Sunday service when I'm leading the discussion portion, you know about my passion for authentic relating. I really love authentic relating. It's a great way to practice communicating what we're feeling, which pairs really well with a subtle sacrament communion practice when we're first getting started with that and having different feelings come up that we're not so used to feeling, and just navigating those waters. An authentic relating framework can help us in sharing things that are just kind of hard to articulate. So we always do authentic relating, and we close out with a meditation as well. For this program, you can request sacrament from the church for the duration of the 8 weeks. Some women in the last cohort did not request sacrament because they're cultivating their own, which is excellent. But just so you know, you can request sacrament from the church for the 8-week duration of the program. The last day to apply is March 3rd. So I wanted to come on here and make sure everybody knows so you don't miss the application deadline. Again, that's Sunday, March 3rd. So that is, let's see, that's 2 weeks. It's just 2 weeks from now. So even if you're interested, you're not totally sure if you want to enroll officially, you can still submit an application. It doesn't commit you to enrolling, but it does ensure that you get your application in on time. Today is the last day to apply for the scholarship. We provide 1 scholarship, full scholarship per cohort of all of our minister programs. in case y'all weren't aware of that. So if you would like to apply for a scholarship, today is the last day to apply for the scholarship. And then the lottery drawing will be in the next week. So it's a totally random drawing. We just basically choose out of a hat. We do also provide financial hardship. So you just fill out an application for that if you think you qualify. And one more time, last day to apply, March 3rd. And if you do have questions about the Women's Subtle Sacrament program, I will be leading the office hours, the director's office hours tomorrow at 3:30 Eastern, that's 12:30 Pacific time. So if you're able to join for the office hours, that's a great place to ask any questions you might have about the Women's Subtle Sacrament program. You can also email me at Courtney@Psanctuary.org or message me on Discord. I'm happy to answer any of your questions. So that is all for the FAQ portion. Get back to my slides here. All right. We have come together with intentions of service to the land and all of its inhabitants. It's in our hearts to go forth into the world with the collective consciousness. We encourage you to stay for continued fellowship and conversation around our readings. For those unable to stay, we thank you for being with us and wish you a wonderful week ahead. As we further our conversation, please remember that all perspectives are welcome as we search for the spiritual truth that unites us all. Please remember that we are not a medical or a therapeutic organization. Statements made by the moderator or members of Psanctuary are their own. We are here discovering and exploring along with you. So with that, I'm going to end our recording.